Welcome to Astrodology, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Astrodology with Astrid. I hope you're doing well and looking forward to, summer. Summer is here and we just had the solstice and we're still living on that great energy as I record this on the 23rd of June. So I am here because we have this new moon in Cancer coming in on a very auspicious day. I hope you've been well. It's been a moment. I'm so sorry I missed the full moon in Sagittarius, and I will explain why. I've actually been quiet. There's been a life-changing event that happened to me that I will ultimately share at some stage. But for now, think of stillness, think of peace, think of healing when you think of Cancer. So one of the questions that comes up is, what do you need for inner peace? Because Cancer is a water sign. It is a sign of healing. Unlike any other signs, Cancer is the mother. It's healing. It's sonic. It's water. It's cleansing. So on 6/25/25, so right out of the gate, we have this 2025 code. Now, 25 reduces to a 7. So 7 and 7 is 14. 14 reduces to a 5. So we've got change. 5 is a number of excitement, change, movement. So this new moon is coming in the wee hours Pacific Standard Time at 3:31 a.m. So when we wake up on the West Coast, she will be here. The big news is that Jupiter is underpinning this beautiful new moon in Cancer. So this is a very auspicious time. Before I go forward, I cannot believe the amount of birthdays that are happening in June that are Cancerians that have been in my life. When I call out your name, you have been a significant part of my life in one way, shape, or form. And I just find it uncanny. Everyone on this list I found to be just such amazing souls. So you are my fellow water sign Cancerians, and I just love you so much. So it's no accident that we found each other and we connected. So starting, I'm going to not go in full sequential order, but starting with the June Cancerians and moving into the July Cancerians. But again, each of you have played a significant role in my life. Most of you continue to do so, and even if I don't talk to you or see you, the love is eternal, and I'm so grateful for that. The love, the respect, the admiration is eternal. Whenever we connect, it's always beautiful. Okay, are you ready? I think Cancer trumps any of the signs that I know. I know quite a few Scorpios, being a Scorpio myself, but also being a fellow water sign. I'm blown away. I think it's 20-something people that I know in Cancer. And I'm not just talking about peripherally, no, just acquaintances. These are people that I know. So starting out of the gate, Anika Pauling. Anika Pauling, happy birthday. Gwendolyn Golden, Affy Domenico. These ladies, Anika, Gwendolyn, Affy, were part of my corporate brilliance and life. Bill Kastenberg, my amazing, tremendous father-in-law. Stefan Massenot, my French brother in the light and food and culinary and vibrancy. Todd Thoring, I love you, Dr. Todd Thoring, miss you. Debbie Reed, part of my corporate past. How you doing, Deb? Bridget Ferguson, my first cousin. We grew up together as sisters. Tammy Smith, probably my oldest friend on the planet. I saw her come out of the womb, basically. Mark Bachman. Oh, Mark, I miss you so much. I hope all is well. Vanessa Powell. She goes back to high school days. Exomi. What's up, X? I miss you so much. Basho from the ashram, my ashram family. Danella Ferguson, my beloved grandmother, rest her soul. Udi, where are you, Udi? Udi's one of my original yoga students dating back 23 years ago. My Uncle Archie, my beloved Uncle Archie, who passed on this year. Ashley Turner, a fellow yoga teacher, but also one of my gurus. Love you, dear. Bill Kastenberg. As I said, Lauren Mitchell, my beautiful niece, my first niece, my beautiful niece. Gloria Kastenberg, my amazing G Money, I love you so much. Evelyn Megan, Evers, my Evers, miss and love you. Ludmila Bueno, soul sisters in the light, everything yoga and spirituality and divine feminism. Deb Pasternak, you saved me, Deb, so much. You saved me so much with your amazing spreadsheets in Excel. Simone Wedderburn, my beautiful, effervescent, just solid as a rock, Simone. I love you, Simone Wedderburn. I love your family. And Michelle Harper. How are you, Michelle? I miss your laughter. I miss your wisdom. Wow, that's a lot of people, a lot of Cancerians. And if I've missed you and it's not on purpose, if I omitted you and you're Cancerian, I'm so sorry. I'm just blown away, though, by the amount of people that I can remember. Okay, the question is, what do you need for inner peace? And what do you want to sacrifice to get that inner peace? So something has to give. It's got to be something in your life that you're willing to give up. Typically, it's a mindset. It's something that you don't need anyway. So letting it go can be quite simple and quite easy. So the moon entered Cancer season on 6/20, just a few days ago, the day of the summer solstice. So Cancer, you kicked off the summer solstice, which was just powerful in itself. So the sun entered 0 degrees of Cancer, and Jupiter entered Cancer at 0 degrees. This is great because 0 is a starting point, starting from ground zero. So it means you can build. So this is creating a conjunction. A conjunction is when the planets cooperate and work together. So Jupiter rules higher learning and wisdom and joy and our beliefs. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. What this means is when a planet is exalted in a sign, it means it's the strongest energy possible. Do you know that Jupiter is the planet of abundance? So if you need abundance of love, money, wealth, health, opportunity, joy, peace, relationships, this is the time. So the numerology code 62525 reduces to a 22. 22 reduces to a 4. This is great because 4 is very grounding and stable. Typically, 4 can be a bore, that kind of rhyme. 4 can be a bore because 4 is solid. It's like the legs of a table. In feng shui, a grounded wood 4-legged table is considered one of your power places, okay? So 4 is grounded. It also represents architecture. So think of Cancer. Cancer governs the home, and it governs being domicile, your home. And 4 is about order. So it's amazing all of the numerology that's coming in. So this 2025 code is unbelievable. So Cancer helps us to adjust to life's changing waters. It's the sign of the mother. The shadow side of the Cancer is to bury yourself in the sand. Cancer is sensitive to beauty and loves beauty. Every Cancer that I know loves beautiful things, especially themselves. Most Cancer men and women are very attractive. They take care of themselves. They're fun-loving. But loving and nurturing yourself is the theme during this Cancer new moon. And nurturing brings deep feelings to light because Cancer is a very emotional sign. You know, at some stage we've got to deal with what's on our heart and minds, and Cancer helps us to do it. So Cancer is about creating a sanctuary or sacred space in your own life, in your own mind, in your own heart. And Cancer gives us the opportunity to tune into our gut level of intuition. And the idea is even though Cancer isn't considered an outspoken sign, most Cancers I know are, but what they do is they're very mindful, they're very tempered about it, and when they speak, people listen because it's been contemplated and it's been assessed. It's a time associated with emotional renewal, new beginnings related to your home, your family, and also new definitions of home and what security means to you. Cancer is the fourth sign of the zodiac and the first water sign we meet in the astrological wheel. So Pisces closed us out, that water sign. So Cancer gets us started in this new season. The new astral year started with Aries, ruled by the moon. So this new moon in Cancer is even more potent because the moon is Cancer's home planet. So it holds a unique position. It is not only the sign where the moon feels most at home, but also the one that reminds us that our emotions are not weakness. I always say this, so the next time someone says, "Oh, you're so emotional," say thank you. Our emotions are maps. They're memory keepers. They're the inner tides that carry us towards what is real and what is true. So this is a new moon that says we belong home. Where do we belong? Where do we find our emotional renewal? You know, our houses, our home should be a haven, no matter how small, it can be a haven. So when the luminaries align in this cardinal water sign, something inside of us gets very still, it gets very quiet, and it gets just silent, or what do you call it, still enough to hear what the soul is trying to say. This new moon is not loud, it's not verbose, there's not a lot of crazy things happening. It won't yell at you or scream at you, but it's an invitation. It's an invitation to go inside. It's permission to go into the sanctuary of our feelings, into the rooms of our emotional memory, so that we can look forward to using what we've learned as we go forward under this new moon. So again, Cancer's ruled by the moon itself. So when the moon rises here on the 25th, it speaks the language of so many things. It's about restoration, it's about purity, and it's about vulnerability. Whenever a sign is on deck, we want to dive into and tap into that quality. So many people are so stoic and so afraid to feel and let their true feelings come out. Well, Cancer gives you an excuse and a good reason to do so. This is a moment to return back to what matters, to once made you feel safe. I mean, during these crazy times, it's hard to feel safe. It's such an uncertain time. But this moon says you can still go forward and plant seeds, whether it's your ambitions, but the ground is very fertile right now. The glyph of the Cancer represents two spirals. Think of the 69s facing, the tail and the head, the opposites. Two spirals, or some people say it looks like two claws, but they are two embryos that are curled into themselves. So speak of creation. Talk about creation. Cancer represents the sacral energy, where we create water. Sacral energy is water energy. So this is about gestation. It's about cycles. It's about being in the dark. New moons won't be illuminated in the sky. New moons are dark for a reason, because we're supposed to go inward. This is a sign of emotional beginnings, of sacred intimacy, and it's about the bonds that tie us to people, places, and versions of ourselves that we may no longer show to the world, but we carry inside of us. So like everyone that I mentioned, there's some tie, some bond with these Cancerians that I've had through my lifetime. When the moon gets home in her sun sign, the message is amplified. So we've got Jupiter exalted in Cancer. We've got Cancer in its home sign of the moon. So this is about being powerful, like silent powerful, moving stealth. It's about spiritual renewal of your emotions. And it's time for us to ask, we have to reassess this. Where do I belong? A lot of people are moving abroad, moving to other states, because where they currently live and reside, it's no longer comfortable. And the United States is getting very wild and uncomfortable. So the question is, what do I truly need to feel safe, to feel held, to feel real? And most importantly, what can I let go of so I can return to myself more honestly? You know, Cancer likes the truth. Being a fellow water signs are going to get to the core of the truth. I love this thought from Forever Conscious. But this new moon calls for us to sit in our power, to know we are safe, to know we are secure, and to know we have the strength to face up to all that we feel. Our emotions don't need to hold power over us. Instead, we can allow them to rise up, wash over us, and sit with all they have to offer. Very often, when they do, they tend to pass, morph, and shift into something new and beautiful. This new moon doesn't ask us to act on our emotions. Instead, it wants us to take our emotions and dreams bigger. How can we manifest a bigger and brighter life for ourselves? Nurture your emotional well-being under the Cancer new moon, and then use that wisdom to manifest a beautiful life. So well said. So Cancer teaches us that our intuition is the most significant guiding force in our lives. There's so much research and study and information and spiritual texts on if you follow your intuition, it never steers you wrong. What ends up happening is we have doubt and we start questioning. So our intuition is connected to the infinite wisdom of the universe, and it can see where we can't see. So we're a culture, seeing is believing, but that's what our intuition's job is to do, is to see the past, the present, the future, and then bring it to us in a way that it is palatable and that we can use. So being connected to your intuition should help you feel less doubt, less judgment, because it's coming from a place of truth inside of you. This new moon often brings ease and efficiency, because Cancers, especially Cancer women, you guys get a lot of stuff done. And again, it's not like this hyper Aries type female energy that runs around. Cancer gets a lot of things done. So during this new moon, it teaches us that the answers we seek can be easy when we're willing to have conversations with our emotions. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? It's also important to point out that when we begin to realize the intentions that we want, sometimes intentions, the things that we want, instead of making us feel great and excited, they can make us feel uncomfortable. So oftentimes that's why people pull back from dreaming, because the minute we start dreaming and desiring, doubt comes up and it makes us feel uncomfortable. And then we second guess and say, oh, I guess I'm uncomfortable because that's not what I want to do. So the sun and new moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. So with expansive Jupiter in Cancer, that's going to be part of this new moon. Our intentions have extra power behind this because, again, Jupiter is the great, magnificent planet. Everything it touches, it amplifies. It brings a sense of optimism, growth, abundance. And during this conjunction, you're encouraged to dream even bigger. Don't worry about what's going on in the outside world. Tend to what's going on in the inside world. And think about and imagine, no matter what's going on politically, financially, socially, the stock market, what would true emotional abundance look like in your life? How can you expand your capacity to receive nourishment and support? Jupiter's presence reminds us that we deserve more than just the bare minimum, that each of us can call in prosperity in all its forms. Every level of prosperity is our divine right, and we have to believe it. The sun and moon in Cancer conjunct Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo will bring energy to this moon that's going to harmonize. A sextile is about harmony. Mars represents our communication side. It represents our drive, how we take action. And Virgo comes through and helps us create the systems that will systematically automate those desires and those actions. So the idea is, how can you take targeted action to create more security in your life? The sun and the new moon in Cancer will square Neptune in Aries. Neptune in Aries forms a challenging square to this moon, and this energy then makes us examine where we might have a blind spot about what's going on in our lives. So we're reminded to just check in with ourselves and make sure that what we're thinking and feeling and going after is coming from our deepest truth. So Saturn and Neptune conjunct Aries. Do you hear all of this? The sun and new moon in Cancer square Saturn in Aries. Are you hearing this? So we got a lot of fire and water on earth. Aries is a fire sign. So what Cancer's energy is going to naturally do is kind of try to dose the fire. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to your stoicism trying to put out the fire. Jupiter in Cancer square Neptune in Aries and square Saturn in Aries. So there's a lot going on. So again, June 25th, 2025 at 3:31 a.m. And I just caught this. So I said 25 and 25 equals a 7, right? 25 reduces to a 7. Well, 331 is also a 7. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 is the number of spirituality. It's the number of the teacher. It's the number of the learner. It's your spiritual connection to Source, to Gaia, to the moon, to lunation. So this lunation marks a time of renewal, new beginnings, especially again related to your home and your personal security. It's about coming home to your own soul. It's about amplified intuition. It's about emotional processing. And this is really one of those moons where if you've skipped out in the last few moons and you haven't done any manifestation work, or you just haven't written down wishes or intentions or dreams, this is a time to do your manifestation and intention setting. Refresh some of the things that you've asked for already, because the conjunction of the sun and moon with Jupiter, known for its expansive fortune and energy, makes this a new moon that's powerful for your intentions, unlike any other time. So, things to consider. Jupiter will amplify our desire for emotional expansion, abundance, and encouraging us and trying to push us to dream big. Neptune and Saturn reminds us to discern between genuine needs and our external FOMO expectations, that fear of missing out. We're going to be balancing optimism with realism because, Cancer goes inside the crab. It goes into its shell to make sure that what it is doing is what it's best for. Cancers take their time. Crabs, the only time they run fast is when they are under attack. So this new moon in Cancer is a time for us to think, to process, to reflect on the past so you can set intentions going forward that are really authentically and genuinely rooted in your emotional truth. You can use this new moon energy to cultivate a deep sense of self-knowledge and to create a more fulfilling, not only fulfilling, but secure future. So the moon on Monday, June 9th, Jupiter entered the sign of Cancer, where it will be until June 30th, 2026. So Cancer and Jupiter will be together for another year. So this is great, great news. This transit of Jupiter, the planet of abundance, is exalted in Cancer. It's the strongest it can be, so it can really, really, really bestow its benefits on to us. So as we go forward in this new moon in Cancer, there will be an emphasis on compassion. Compassion, a lot's going on, nurturing and healing, emotional security, unity. We're seeing people come together. But again, this is about your indirect communication. So, life is very interesting right now. So our work is to get more grounded and steady so that we can be of support, much needed support out there in the world. Last thought from Forever Conscious. Jupiter is active under this Cancer new moon, acting as an enhancer to all of these energies. Jupiter has the power to magnify our intentions and what we are putting out into the universe, which makes the June new moon of 2025 a powerful time for manifestation work. Think about what you wish to attract in your life. Think not just about the material world, but your emotional world, for that is what Cancer rules over. How do you wake up every day and show up on an emotional level? Honoring yourself, like saying to yourself, where am I today? And I mean, like, am I melancholy? Am I excited? Am I neutral? Am I sad? And then think about, the only thing that we have full custody and control over is ourselves. How do you become the master of yourself? By nurturing yourself, by self-care, by self-love. It sounds corny, but in order to master the self, we have to start to nurture it, to water it, and to care for it truly. So pay attention to your mental health, your emotional health, your psychic health during this time, because Cancer is such an emotional sign that it will bring up suppressed emotions, things that have been hidden, things that have literally broken your heart. But at the end of the day, this will be a gift for you to be able to just actually listen to yourself when no one else will listen to you. Have you heard that talking out loud is actually very therapeutic? Because talking out loud, you really are actually talking to someone. You're talking to your highest self. So again, there's a lot going on. We're invited to sit with our feelings, and that's why I said silence and peace. So the first step of working with the new moon is working with your emotions. Allow yourself to cry. A lot has happened. A lot is going on. People are being snatched off the streets, snatched off their homes, and it's kind of nuts. You don't have a feeling about that? So allow yourself to feel. So, being able to release certain emotions can be challenging because we feel like if we let go, we might lose it. We might come undone. But it's worth it because we need your energy. We need your energy here. We need your light. So gosh, I just pray for us all as we go forward. But this new moon in Cancer, thank you, Cancer. Thank you, Jupiter. Thank you, Aries. This energy is so beautiful with Neptune. It's a very, very beautiful, auspicious time. So again, on June 2025, on the 25th, Jupiter is sitting at 4 degrees. 4 degrees. 4 is the number of grounding and solidness. That's the word. So the questions are, why would we put anything above our peace? Why? Why would we put a person, a job, a relationship above our own peace? Think peace, think silence, and move forward with your deepest, most heartfelt intentions. And the universe is listening, and the universe has our backs. Happy new moon in Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next episode. And we talk about, I think the opposite will be Capricorn. I think Capricorn is Cancer's opposite. So enjoy, take care. Remember, we have 2 weeks to live in this delicious energy. So the peak days will be Wednesday the 25th, Thursday the 26th, Friday the 27th. And say, for example, you hear this sometime in July, past this new moon, all of this information will be pertinent. It will still be relevant because any of the qualities that these signs bring forth is something we need to work on in our evolution. Okay, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Namaste, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Astrodology with Astrid. Thank you for listening to Astrodology. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coda Life Goddess or at CodaLife.com. Coda is C-O-T-A, Coda Life Goddess or CodaLife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astrodology, and I'll see you next time.